Chill and Heal with Chill Spa owner Crissy Cantor on 99.9 and AM 1370 WFEA.
And there's a reason that we call her the CEO, because she is the Chill Executive Officer, ladies and gentlemen, your host, in a room full of guests this morning, Crissy Cantor.
Oh, I'm so honored to be here and to be your Chill and Heal host for the day and every day. Here to fuel your mind, body, and soul with goodness. We will connect, open up, share, be real, be raw, overcome, let go, learn, and grow together to simply live a happy life. Remember, sharing is caring, and we are not alone. And I am so honored to welcome all of our guests, and so thankful for their service. And we're going to actually welcome Jay Block from New Mexico, Lieutenant Colonel in the Air Force, retired, and Sebastian, my Alderman. Oh, don't be breaking anything, Jay Block. Sebastian, my Alderman in Manchester, New Hampshire, and Justin Smith, a longtime friend and an Army veteran. And he's the owner of Spark Electrical Services. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
How are you?
We are great, and I am so honored to be in the room with you guys. And just want to kind of, it means a lot for us Americans on Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and every single day to say thank you. And to understand what does it take to serve and how to be a great American. So I'm just here to chill and chat with experienced, awesome men that their commitment to their community is huge, and they continue it on even after their service. So Jay, welcome to New Hampshire again.
Again, yeah. And for everyone, in total transparency, Crissy and I are, she's my fiance, and I'm a proud Manchester, born and raised here in Manchester on Spruce and Central Street. And, you'll hear the story of these two fine gentlemen. But after high school, I went off to college and served in the Air Force for well over 20 years, retired as a lieutenant colonel. And my brother Justin, my brother in arms, Justin was an Iraq veteran. I was Afghanistan, and Justin and I talked a little bit about our experiences together over there when I was over there and he was over there. I think different times. I was 05, 06. I'm not sure when Justin.
I was around 10 and 11.
10 and 11, yeah. And then, we have Sebastian, who's just a great American, came here from Ukraine and built a great life for himself, serving on active duty in the Army for 4 years. And he's in the reserve now, serving as an alderman. And Justin's a small business owner. And actually, Sebastian and I are both elected officials, me in New Mexico and Sebastian here in his adopted home city of Manchester. So I think, I don't want to speak for the other two, being the only Air Force guy in the room, I'm probably the smartest. But I will say I think the three of us just have a calling to serve, whether it was in uniform or whether it's to serve our communities.
Yeah. So, Sebastian, can you share your story?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. This is my first time on the radio. I've been on TV before, but this is the first time.
Oh, well, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And thank you and honored.
Great experience. Thank you. Anyway, I joined the Army in 2015. At the time, I wasn't even a U.S. citizen. I immigrated legally from Ukraine. I started building my new life here, and I qualified to enlist in the Army with just a green card because I thought, I really wanted to thank for this country being so welcoming, for allowing me to stay and live here and, build my life. So I wanted to give back. I wanted to serve the country. That's my new home. And I honorably served for 4 years. I think it was a great experience. And I continue serving in the reserves to this day.
And what does that mean to serve in the reserves?
It means still being in the military while also pursuing other career and life You don't have to be active duty, but you're still serving the country.
Yeah, it's basically like you're a citizen soldier. You know, you do your weekends and your couple weeks during the year. So he still, wears the uniform. He serves as an elected official in Manchester, but wears the uniform on the week. I don't want to talk for him, but I guess I will. But and then he has his own small business too. So he's really built a great. Sebastian's just a great American, and I'm honored to call him a friend.
That's spot on. That describes what being a reservist is.
That is amazing. Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sebastian.
Yeah. And Justin, can you share a little bit about your service?
Yeah. So, like Crissy said, I'm Justin Smith, and I joined up in 2008. And I can remember it was the day I swore in was Christmas Eve, 2008. And the day that I shipped to basic training was Easter Sunday. So it's kind of ironic, those two big religious holidays. But the reason why I joined, when I was younger was I was 19, 20 years old, and I was looking for, that action, that adventure, that camaraderie. I'd always been interested in the military. And I finally, had an opportunity to step away from my life that I was starting to build and go and serve. And so I took it, and I loved it. I had a lot of fun. I had a blast. I joined for that adventure, but I learned a lot of humility. It taught me really taught me how to be part of something that was more important than just my individual thoughts and feelings. And I've taken that with me over the years. So when I joined, it was kind of the height of Iraq and the height of Afghanistan. I think there was about almost 100,000 troops in Afghanistan at the time, and there was around 250,000 troops in Iraq. So we were going full tilt on both fronts. And I joined. I went through basic training in Fort Knox, Kentucky, one of the last training cycles that ever went through Fort Knox, Kentucky. And we were in these old World War II barracks, really run down, really got that old school basic training experience. It was pretty cool. And then I went over to Fort Sam Houston, where I learned how to be a combat medic. And then, I graduated from Fort Sam Houston, and right away I got pulled to be a gun truck driver and an assistant gunner on a deployment to Iraq. So we went right from pretty much right from Fort Sam Houston to a MOB site for a few months. We mobilized and learned the mission, and then we went to Kuwait, and we did a lot of. Our primary mission was escorting convoys from the, we had the security, the gun trucks provided security for the convoys to pass from Kuwait up all the way through Iraq, pretty much up that main supply route, MSR Tampa, all the way through Baghdad up to Balad and back down. We would escort these convoys, whether they were Air Force convoys or Army convoys or civilian contractor convoys. Sometimes we would escort them, and our secondary mission was called Tactical Combat Force, where we were basically went through a 12-week training iteration in the Kuwaiti ranges. This big training facility in Kuwait, just south of Iraq, and we learned how to do a lot of close quarter combat and a lot of riot control and things like that. Pretty much a Swiss Army knife kind of unit, where we could do anything from riot control and assaults to convoy escorts. But that was our secondary mission, and our primary mission was just escorting those convoys, making sure that things could get up into Iraq safely and things could get back down from Iraq, because we were getting ready to draw down there at the time. So we were pulling a lot of equipment out, and we were leaving a lot of equipment for the Iraqi army to take over. We were leaving them with a lot of gun trucks and some serious equipment for them to be able to protect themselves, independently when our armed forces left. So it was a really cool experience in the sense where I got to do a lot of different jobs, and I got to learn a lot of different things, and it really taught me how to be patient and how to be humble, and that it was part of a bigger movement. My individual thoughts and feelings had to get put aside, and the the people around me and the job that we had to do had to get put first. And you know, that kind of selfless mentality has always stuck with me. So I'm thankful that I served, and I'm glad I got to take that away. I had a lot of great leaders, and I learned a lot of great leadership techniques from a lot of good leaders. And you know, I had a couple bad ones that kind of taught me what not to do in terms of leading my family and leading my company. So I'm thankful I served, and I'm proud to be here with Jay and with Sebastian, both great Americans, and both selflessly served and upstanding citizens, and can continue to contribute to their individual communities every day. And you know, it's just super cool to be in this room with Crissy, who for years has helped. I've seen her help, you know, hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of people, from her charities, you know, to her own employees, and she just never stops. I don't know when she sleeps, but she asked me to come on, and I was honored. So it's good to be here, and thank you guys.
Oh my God, you're giving me goosebumps, Justin, and I'm so thankful for your service. And Jamie, his wife, and I work very close together. She is an original chill girl.
15 years.
Yeah, and when you deployed, you know, you left. You didn't really leave your family behind, but yeah, it's the sacrifices that we all make.
Yep.
Well, you guys make, she made, and for our amazing country. Thank you so much. And, you know, it's like when you think about everything that you've learned and you've taken it this far.
Right.
And when we say small business, there is nothing small about your business spark. You need a spark in your life, you call Justin and his company.
Yep.
Electrical services, they have taken care of us for so many years, and how you take care of your employees. And,
Yep.
you know, thank you so much. And
Thank you.
I'm like so grateful. And it's, you know what, it's the humbleness and the gratefulness is what gets us through things.
Yep.
And connects us all. And thank you
Absolutely.
so much.
No, thanks for having me.
Oh my God, I'm so honored. Well, I love to share people's stories, and I love, you know, I just love people, and to serve is incredible. And serving in our community as an elected official, Jay, I mean, you just ran for governor, and so many people have said to me, you know, because I was on the campaign trail. It's like,
Yeah, we flew all over New Mexico, drove all over that big state together. Yeah.
yeah, and what it takes to run a campaign, and the drive and the commitment to serve we the people is such a beautiful thing. And people were concerned, you know, how is Jay? You know, you didn't win. And
Thanks for reminding me.
sorry, but it you know, it's what you do.
Yeah. No, we won the state convention together.
Yeah,
That was fun.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so you are still winning, and you are you're going back to New Mexico to.
I have 2.5 more years left in office there as a county commissioner in the Albuquerque area. But I think, you know, Justin did just a phenomenal job with his background, and it just, you know, I think as veterans, you know, every veteran has to be resilient in some of the things that they go through.
Absolutely.
And, you know, when I retired in 2016 and went into politics and won my race and my reelection, you know, you have to be resilient. And I think my thinking was, and Crissy and I have talked about this, and Justin, you can probably relate, is you know, when you're over there, all you think about is getting home
Yep.
safely.
Yep.
And if you can just make it the hell out of there, everything
Yep.
else is gravy, and that's the way I look at it. And no matter what was happening on the campaign trail, which is extremely hard to run a statewide campaign, and you know, when you're getting beat up all the time on social media or in the
Yep.
media or by people or even people in your own party, veterans for some reason have this resiliency about them where it's like,
Yes.
I can do it.
Perspective.
Yeah, you
It's
have
all
this different perspective because,
Yep.
you know, it's not like, you know, we're sitting there, you know, broke down in Afghanistan waiting to just get ambushed or something like that. It's like, this isn't that bad. These are just words, and we're going to get through it. I'm not
Absolutely.
getting shot at. I'm not getting bombed. It's just life.
Yep.
And if you can make it through some of these things that you and I have made it through, and Sebastian, being on active duty, some of the challenges that you have in the military, that's the one thing that I learned over 2 decades in was I had some great leaders. You
Yep.
know, I think of my first squadron commander, this guy named Lieutenant Colonel Dave Wright, who Crissy knows, who I hated as a brand new second lieutenant. And that guy made me better.
Yeah.
But you learn from leaders, both good and bad. And
But you love him now.
Oh, Dave's like a second father to me. If you ever told me that as a lieutenant, I thought you belonged in a institution. But, you know, you just have these people in your life that help you through. But when you're in certain situations, you have this perspective. Like, you know, it's Crissy and I were going down the street. Do you remember the car incident? And you got mad at the driver, and that cut us off.
Oh,
Crissy?
I did?
Not Crissy.
I'm just a little spicy.
Well, she was irritated, and she asked me, like, doesn't that bother you? I'm like, you know what? No, it doesn't bother me at all.
Yep.
It's really not a big deal in the grand scheme of things.
Yep.
You know, you've seen so many things in your life, especially over in some wacky areas that we've been in.
Yep.
That it doesn't bother me. You know, you just become resilient. You have to become resilient.
Right.
And if you're not, you're going to have some problems.
Yeah, you're just going to struggle. You know, you're going to fight with yourself if you don't have that resiliency. And it's for me, I think a lot about that perspective that we have, and I'm grateful, you know, that I've overcome the things that I've overcome, both in the military and outside, because I kind of have a different perspective. So I'm able to frame things a little differently for my employees. And I can think of an example of a new a general manager that I hired over the winter, and I walked in his office, and he had his head in his hands, and he was just super stressed out. And he looked at me, and he's like, "I'm so stressed out, I don't know what to do." He's like, "Are you stressed out?" And I said to him, you know, I thought, like, what can I say to frame this, you know, that this isn't stressful? And I said, stressed out compared to what? Stressed out compared to getting cancer, or stressed out compared to being in an Iranian missile attack? What are you comparing this level of stress to? And he looked at me and he said, "Well, I guess I'm not that stressed out." I said, "It's only work, man. It's only work." And, you know, those experiences that we go through, we have to kind of remember that not everybody has been through the things that we've been through. So, you know, if we can have the humility to remember that, you know, we still owe our friends and our neighbors and our, you know, the people that we're leading, you know, that level of leadership.
Well, that's a
wisdom.
good way to, like, teach them. Like,
Yeah.
hey, listen, this is how I look at my perspective.
Yep.
You know, because I mean, you and I have talked about our experiences a little bit, and you know, it's just like, holy crap, Justin, you went through that, and I know you have a buddy that you talk to every day.
Yep.
Up in northern New Hampshire,
Yep.
that you went through this experience with. And, you know, we as veterans kind of deal with it with humor. You know, like I make fun of the Army.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, you make fun of the Air Force.
Yep.
But there's a bond that, you know, between veterans.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yep.
and I think Crissy, when we first started seeing each other a couple of years ago, she would hear these veterans just banter and rag on each other, and she's like, "Why are you talking like that?" And it's like, that's
I didn't get it at all.
It's a show
I'm like,
of-
that's
yeah,
not nice.
It's a show of respect.
It is.
It really is.
Yeah.
You know, and that's that bond that I think veterans have. Even veterans, like, you know, I have a very good friend, Neil Heiss,
Yep.
back in New Mexico, and Neil was a Navy Seabee in Vietnam.
Yep.
And Neil, you know, just crusty old guy, great heart, loves this country.
Yep.
Makes fun of me all the time. You know, like, you officers, or, you know,
Pampered.
you know, deploying in the Air Force is like going to a Hampton Inn. I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Yep.
But there's that just mutual respect and love for each other.
Yep.
And Crissy knows this. When I was a commander over in Europe over 10 years ago, I still have some of my airmen that a lot of my airmen keep in touch with me, and she knows this. It's amazing. And yeah.
It's so beautiful. And I didn't know. My dad was in the service, but I didn't really know until my daughter, Dante, said, "Hey, you know when you have a memorial service, and they're like, oh, have the veterans come and represent at the school." She went to Webster School, but my dad didn't have any of his fellow Army guys around. So I didn't really understand veterans as much. I was always so grateful American, but I didn't see that bond like I do today. And I experienced it with Jay when people flew in from all across the country for when you announced to run for governor.
Yeah.
And the commitment and the love and respect that you guys have for each other.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable. And when you met Justin and when you met Sebastian, there is just that immediate bond that I don't see with other groups. There's
probably I would argue police officers
Okay,
and firefighters
yes, that's true.
have that.
They do have a tight.
They
that's
do,
true.
and it's a similar situation, and they have a great bond because they go through things together, like we've gone through some things together. But even in families, my stepmother was in the Marine Corps. She was one of the first female drill instructors in the history of the Corps.
Wow!
Try living with that as a teenager.
Wow!
And she made fun of the Air Force a lot, and I don't take offense to it. It's just the way it is,
right?
And that's just how we cope and deal with each other. Crissy knows one of my very close friends, a guy named Rich Stover, who's a retired Chief Master Sergeant, E9 top enlisted grade.
Yep. And
we worked together in private industry, and he, I was the commander, he was the chief, and we had some, big disagreements behind the door. But he's like family to me. We work together. I've known, Chief Stover, Rich, for well over 10 years, and we'll always have this bond together. And like you and I, Justin, we don't know each other that well, but there's the bond together of what our experiences are. They're a little bit similar with some of the stuff that we saw and did.
Yeah, there's definitely a big level of camaraderie. To this day, it was over 10 years ago that I served, and
seems like yesterday, though, doesn't it?
It does. And I talked to Nick, the guy you mentioned that was up in North Conway. He was my gunner. I was the gun. When I was driving the gun truck, he was in the turret, and sometimes he would drive the gun truck, and I was in the turret. And we were like brothers, and we still are. I talked to him yesterday. And we haven't served together in 10 years, and we still talk almost every day. It's awesome. He's he moved from North Conway to South Carolina, and we still stay in touch. And there's definitely a level of camaraderie, even guys that you didn't serve with, but guys that you maybe served in the same area or the same era. They're just we all kind of have a common walk.
Yep.
And
it's a call to serve, because a lot of us, after we retire, I know many veterans that go into teaching or go into coaching or go into some type of public service or run for political office. There's something about veterans, in my opinion, where they just have this. There's something in their DNA to serve.
Yeah.
And whether we signed up when we were 18 years old because we wanted the educational benefits, great.
Yeah.
But like you said, you become something way bigger than yourself.
Right.
Part of an incredible organization, getting a mission done, serving your country, having these bonds and going to places and meeting people. I grew up on Spruce and Central Street here, and I never would have imagined the life that I was going to have, in the military. Same thing with you.
Yeah.
You just, you meet people from all over the country, all over the world. And, because to me, Justin, he's a world traveler, Sebastian being from the Ukraine.
Yeah.
But to me, a big trip was, in my family, because we didn't have money, was going to Boston.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
And then, next thing I know, I'm, driving around Afghanistan like, hey.
Yeah. Yep. I remember
the drivers are the same as they were in Boston.
Yep.
And on that note, we're going to take a little break. Mike says so, Mr. Chill.
We'll be
Boy.
right back.
Come chill. Manchester's award-winning days, but just chill. Come spend a day at Chill. Escape the stress of your everyday life. It's good for the mind, body and soul. A boutique spa with all the luxury of a resort. Look chill, feel chill, be chill. Let our talented staff make you fabulous. From couples massage to facials, spray tanning and hair design.
online at chillspa.com. More than ever before, it's important to take care of your well-being and fuel your mind, body, and soul with goodness. Tune in Wednesdays at 9 a.m. for Chill and Heal with Chill Spa owner Crissy Cantor, the Chill Girls, and special guests sharing experiences and expert advice on how to keep it simple. Just chill and live a happy life. They'll dive into a variety of topics, from mental health and anxiety to nutrition, self-care, and tips on how to look and feel good every day. Chill and Heal, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. on 99.9 and AM 1370 WFEA. We get busy with our day-to-day lives. Chill Spa wants to remind you to take time for you. Making clients look and feel their best is their mission. Chill Spa is here to treat your body, calm your mind, and soothe your soul. Chill specializes in luxurious facials, face and body skin tightening, and cellulite solutions, skin and body contouring, makeup, hair, and nail care, spray tanning, and more. Book your chill time today. 1224 Hanover Street in Manchester. Online at chillspa.com. Chillspa.com.
Now, back to Chill and Heal on 99.9 and AM 1370 WFEA.
We are so grateful to be here with Jay Block, County Commissioner and retired Air Force Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel. Let me get it right. And Sebastian's like, oh my God, Crissy. And my amazing Alderman, Sebastian, and Justin Smith.
Hey.
Hello. And we are welcoming, do you want to welcome?
Jamie, Miss Jamie Lynn, my wife, my lovely wife, is on air. She's one of Crissy's original chill girls. I think she's actually working right now.
She is. She's training right now.
Yeah, she's training somebody. Are you there, babe?
I'm here. Thanks for the lovely introduction. And I'm also here by the original chill girl, Caitlin Plumpton.
Hey, guys. Just wanted to say a quick hi. I'm going to go train Esmeralda, but just wanted to say good morning, guys. You're doing an awesome job.
Thanks.
Oh, thank you. Good morning.
You guys are doing great this morning. So I am just going to fill everyone in on our chill specials for the week. So this week, Jan Marini, all Jan Marini products are 20% off, which doesn't happen super often. So this is big deal, 20% off. So I know a lot of our clients will be calling after this. Our phones will be off the hook. And also going on for the month right now, we are doing any boutique product. You get one product, 10% off, 2 products, 15% off, and 3 products, you get 20% off. So we're definitely doing some big savings right now. So we just don't want anyone to miss out.
Awesome. So for all your chill needs and for all your chill solutions, call Jamie, Caitlin, and all the chill girls at 622-3722. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot my phone number. Or go to chillspa.com and buy online.
That's right. Yeah, you guys are doing so awesome. I'm like so proud of our men over there. All 3 of you guys. I was in the car listening and I was getting a little teary. I love it. You guys are so awesome. I'm so proud.
Even Justin?
Wow. Sun even shines on a dog's butt every once in a while.
Well, you guys are killing it. I love you all, and I'm gonna bounce out unless you have any questions for me, Crissy.
I think we're good, but just so grateful for you, Jamie.
I'm so grateful for you. Talk about like an amazing woman, like boss lady. I don't want to say the other word.
I'm your coworker, girlfriend.
I know, but she's just the best. And I knew from day one when I came into Chill, I looked at her and I said, I think I'm going to retire here. And here I am 15 years later. And even if she tried to fire me, I would still show up the next day.
Oh my God, I'm never firing you. We need to clone you.
Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, well, you guys have a great rest of your morning, and we're going to continue to listen while we do some training.
That sounds so great. Thank you.
You're
love
welcome.
you, James.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, honey. Love you.
Love you.
Oh, so right back to the conversation. Elected officials.
Yeah.
I have a question from our friend John out in New Mexico.
John Veltri.
Yes.
He's listening to the show out there in Placitas, New Mexico.
And I'm going to quote him, not the question, but do what is right. I love when he says that, do what is right. And as grateful Americans, we are doing our best to do what is right. He has a question. What are your plans for the next 2.5 years as county commissioner? What is 1 and 2 of your goals?
Well, I have focused on county commissioner a couple things, and I think it's probably the same as our great alderman here, Sebastian. And for me, it's economic development. It's getting people jobs. That was real big to me. And before the pandemic, we set up an economic development fund that helped reduce unemployment by 1/3 in Sandoval County, because in New Mexico, we have the highest unemployment once again. This is like 5 straight months. You know, we have the worst education system, rated the worst education system in the country, one of the highest poverty rates. We have the open border. We have one of the highest crime rates, rated the most dangerous state. So what we've done in Sandoval County that I'm very, very proud of, again, it's not just me, it's some great county commissioners as well, is we focused on economic development, but we also focused on public safety, because in our county, which we're right next to Albuquerque, the largest city, crime is out of control in Albuquerque and Bernalillo County, which Albuquerque's in. I live in Rio Rancho, right next door to Albuquerque, in Sandoval County is next to Bernalillo County, and crime's up everywhere in New Mexico but our county. I mean, we have focused on public safety. Crime went down in every single category in 2021, and that's something we're very, very proud of, is supporting our police. We definitely do not defund the police in Sandoval County. They have their complete support of the elected officials. So I think when you have good jobs and safe streets, that attracts a lot of people to your place. And that's why our county, we're the fastest growing county in the state of New Mexico. Rio Rancho, where I live, was rated the best place to live in New Mexico. And there's a little village called Corrales that Crissy's been to a few times that I also represent, which was named the safest place. So, when my philosophy as a leader throughout the Air Force, whether I was a commander or serving anywhere, it was to leave the place better than you found it.
Yep.
And I really very proud that in my 2.5 years left, I am hopefully going to leave the county better than I found it in 2016 when I was elected, because I also passed the first ever ethics ordinance, to hold elected officials and public officials accountable.
Amen.
Amen to that. We have done just so much to transform Sandoval County and get rid of so much corruption that was going on there. And, now as I turn it over, I'm termed out. I wouldn't run for a third term anyway. I have a lot of great support there, people like John and, so many other people, I can't name them all, that I just love out there. Danelle, Inventor is huge. But again, it's to serve. And it's not just veterans and police and fire and teachers serving. I love, and Crissy knows this, I love small business owners. And I go out to visit small business owners, and I do these Facebook Live videos. One of them is Pet Food Gone Wild. We had a small business owner, Suzanne Vasquez, stand up to the governor on the lockdowns. And small business owners to me are really heroes every day, because they're struggling to keep their businesses open through sometimes it's ridiculous regulations.
Yep.
Other times it's lockdowns, and they deal with so much stuff where I want to just help small businesses out. And I've been known as the small business commissioner, and when I was a candidate for governor, I focused on that, economic development, public safety, education, so many things that, we want to fix in New Mexico. And it's not about me, it's about the people and working with the people. And quite frankly, the platform I had running for governor, I adjusted it based on talking to small business owners. They're like, Jay, what would really help is this. And I'm like, wow, you know what? You're actually a lot smarter than the government. That's what I'm talking about, and that's kind of been my philosophy.
And that's why I think we need more of us. I don't want to say normal, like non-politician, like business owners, other people, regular folks serve. And get elected, but it's not easy.
It's not, because business owners. What I have found is they don't want to go into politics because they don't want to be an elected official where it affects their business. Because if they vote one way, then people are going to trash their business on social media, and they just kind of want to stay quiet and stay behind the scenes, and I respect that. But I like people that run for office that have in their background, whether it's owning a business or they served in the military or they have worked, I work in private industry leading teams doing some business development as a nuclear weapons expert for my firm. And I've taken that and I focused it in as an elected official. So I have all these experiences that I think makes people well-rounded. And those are the type of people, I'm not saying I'm a perfect candidate or elected official, but you have a good foundation.
So to have a good resume.
Right, like Sebastian here, he's an immigrant. He served his country. He has a small business. Now he's in local government. I mean, this is a guy where you're like, he gets it, you know. And I know he's always embarrassed when I talk about him. But that's the type of guy I think we should be looking for, is someone who doesn't want to make a career in politics, get in, do the job, and get out, which is what I plan on doing.
Make a difference.
And let someone else, you hand the baton off to somebody else, and hopefully they march forward.
Okay, I'm going to talk about election integrity because that's very important. And that's one of the most important things that I've heard on the campaign trail that people are concerned about. And you are leading the way in Sandoval County. And I know that we only have less than 20 minutes. So watch 2,000 Mules. If you don't think we need some accountability, I think we need to wake up a little bit more. Yeah. So what I've pushed for in Sandoval County is, basic election integrity, voter ID. Common sense. And this is an issue that has widespread, when you look at the polls, widespread support among Republicans, Democrats, Independents. We want voter ID. In New Mexico, we're trying to get rid of these drop boxes in these isolated areas that aren't monitored well. They have one camera, and it's very easy to, throw in other ballots that aren't yours, even though you're signing an affidavit. Just go to 2000mules.com and check out. Signature verification is important as well for us. And, we want to make it easy to vote and hard to cheat. And that's all we're asking for, because we want to make sure that everyone has the ability to vote if they want to vote. We don't want to take that away from anybody, because guys like these gentlemen have put their life on the line for our Constitution and the right to vote, to make sure people can vote. But people want fair and secure elections. And there's some things that you can do. Nothing is going to be perfect. We get that. But we can do better than what we have right now. And that's something that I've been pushing for. There's only 2 commissioners in the entire state of New Mexico that voted not to certify the election, and I'm one of them. And the reason I voted against certifying the election is based on the law of New Mexico and the technical certification of the system of systems in the election system, regarding not just Dominion machines, but e-poll books, election management system. They were not certified in accordance with the law. And listen, I'm a nuclear weapons guy. You read a step, do a step, eat a banana. And it's got to be perfect. And if it's not perfect in my eyes, I'm not voting for it, because I think that people expect you strive for perfection. We had an election back in March, and again, I was the only commissioner not to vote to certify the election, because one of the county clerks didn't comply on 2 things with state statute. So why am I certifying an election when she didn't comply? So this is how I kind of look at things as an elected official, with my experience in the military of, hey, it says this, you comply. If you don't comply, I'm not supporting it. Yeah, integrity. And that's really where I'm coming from there. Well, thank you, Jay.
And you catch a lot of heat, trust me. I mean, there's a lot of pressure, but I look at the pressure of basically what Justin and I talked about is like, hey, you know what? I'm not getting shot at. I'm okay. It's you can take the heat.
Yeah.
And the only thing I can say about voter ID is I bring some European perspective, being from Europe. In
And when
Europe,
did you-
voter ID is pretty common sense. They like to use it again, with gun rights, gun control, like common sense gun control. Voter ID is common sense in Europe. You ask any politicians, left or right, in Europe, well, what do you mean you don't need to show an ID to vote?
Yeah, right?
There's voter ID in every European country, I believe, except the United Kingdom.
Thank you.
So
And when did you come over,
I
Sebastian?
immigrated in 2012.
2012. Can you go down your story?
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
you're amazing, and I'm so grateful you're my alderman.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So I immigrated in 2012. Florida was the first state where I lived, and my first job was actually Krispy Kreme donuts. I really enjoyed it.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yeah,
Krispy
I
Kreme.
worked there for, 2.5 years probably. I liked the job at the time. I really did.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't go to college. I just worked. The job worked. I came here with $750 in my pocket.
Oh my gosh! The American dream.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you worked.
I did. I had 2 jobs, actually. I worked in the grocery store as well to begin.
And it's funny, we had breakfast this morning at a place called the Breakfast Club over on Massabesic and Cypress Street. And we met the owner of the restaurant, talked to her, and I keep talking Sebastian up because he's an American success story. Of
Jay likes putting me on the spot, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
He's so proud of
but
you.
I'm so proud of him because he came here with nothing.
Yeah.
Served his country in the Army for a few years on active duty, started his own little small business. He's an elected official here. And we were talking on the way over, like, Sebastian, you just came to Manchester a few years ago, and now you're an elected official. Does that kind of blow you away? I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, anyone can do anything in this country. Yep. And I'm just so proud of Sebastian and all he's done in a short amount of time here. Because if he can do it, anybody can do it. I mean, I'm a kid and I know you don't like to hear this, Crissy, but I'm just a kid from Spruce and Central Street, and I ended up getting out and becoming a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force, being entrusted with the nuclear codes to the country.
Yeah.
Going off to volunteering to go to Afghanistan, becoming a nuclear weapons expert in private industry, an elected official in New Mexico, running for governor in New Mexico. And I'm just a kid who was just, raised a few blocks up the street here from the studio. I mean, anyone can do anything if you just make good decisions.
Yeah, everybody has potential. This is the country of opportunity. All you have to do is put in work. A lot of work.
And you're originally from Ukraine.
Yes.
And you came here in 2012 after Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, after Krispy Kreme, I thought I needed to do something with my life, and I just got a green card, immigrated legally.
So how does that make you feel with the open borders?
I think illegal immigration hurts everybody, citizens as well as legal immigrants as well, who do everything right, do everything by the book, and it just doesn't seem fair when somebody gets in front of the line or gets something that they shouldn't be getting.
Yeah. No, I think about it, like you just said, cut the line. Like, that's not fair. Like, it's about doing what's right. And never mind all the fentanyl that comes over the border. And we are all border states. And let me repeat that. We are all border states. Even New Hampshire is a border state because it comes across the border from Mexico.
Yeah, especially in New Mexico, because we have pretty much an open border. And, the current governor pulled the National Guard out, and the Border Patrol is so undermanned down there. We have such a huge problem with drug overdoses and crime. And like Crissy says, she's exactly right. I would argue that every state's a border state because what comes through New Mexico and our southern border, it affects New Hampshire as well. But, yeah.
And we need to secure the borders.
Yeah,
that's my
I was a big
opinion.
supporter of the building a wall with on the southern border too. We have like 5,000 people arriving every single day on the border. And how do they deal with that in Europe? Let's say, I think it was a migrant crisis in 2015, and the European Union wasn't enforcing a whole lot in Greece, so individual countries stepped up. Like Hungary built a fence on their border to protect their country. I think Poland has just done the same thing with Belarus. So you have to defend your own country.
Yeah.
You have to secure the border
And protect our people. Because there are so many people that are
Absolutely.
suffering from drug addiction and fentanyl one time.
And
Yeah.
it's not like we're not letting people into the country. There is the legal way, the way that I used to immigrate here.
Do what is right.
Yeah, I know we only have a minute. Real quick, I remember I'm sitting in Albuquerque at a car dealership, and I'm talking to a lady. She was a grandmother. She was like 55. And she knew who I was, and we were talking. And a few months earlier, her 16-year-old daughter died of a fentanyl overdose at a high school party. Took a pill and died. And she was she hated the wall and all that stuff. And then it affected her family, and her beautiful granddaughter died. And she's like, we have to secure the border because these drugs are killing so many people. And what I talk about a lot in New Mexico in office is in 2021. We had a record number of overdose deaths in the United States. In fact, the leading cause of deaths between the ages of 18 and 45 in this country is now drug overdose. So I deal with this constantly, and we deal with it constantly in New Mexico of what's going on. And I know there's a huge heroin fentanyl issue up here in New Hampshire as well that has to be solved. And we're not doing a very good job in this country, and it's killing so many people and destroying families, and it's got to stop.
We need to do better.
Yep. Crissy, can I just talk about veterans real quick?
Yes,
for
please.
Those veterans listening. I know a lot of veterans have been diagnosed with PTSD. I've been open about my PTSD, being diagnosed with it, with what I went through. The PTSD treatment number through the VA is 800-273-8255. 800-273-8255. If you know a veteran or you are a veteran who's going through some tough times, please call that number, because we're losing about 22 veterans a day for suicide, and we want to make sure our veterans get the help that they need.
Yeah, please reach out.
Yeah.
And I think the suicide prevention lifeline number, it will be changing to just 988.
Okay.
Thank you.
And the Air Force is still the best branch.
Subject to an opinion.
J block. Yeah, right. Can you teach them? Oh my gosh. So Sebastian, continue on, please. I know we only have a few minutes.
Okay, where was I?
I was stuck on
2000.
Krispy Kreme, but go ahead.
Yeah, Krispy Kreme.
You got your green card.
Yes, I got my green card 2015, and I really wanted to, thank my new country, to give back to the community, to serve.
Yeah.
So I enlisted in the Army. I have to disclose, I really wanted to go into the Air Force at first, but there was a 1-year waiting period to go to basic training, and I just didn't want to wait that long. So the Army office, recruiting office, was right next door. So I walked out of the Air Force office, went into the Army recruiting office, and signed the contract, and I was like, oh, good, great, you're shipping in 60 days. So, yeah, that was the start of my military career. I've made some great relationships. I still talk to my battalion command sergeant major. I was the executive assistant. I went to Fort Sam. Basic training was in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Then I learned to be a combat medic in Fort Sam Houston, and I was stationed in Washington State the entire time, and I made some great relationships in the military. Like I said, I was the executive director to the battalion commander, then the brigade commander as well. I still talk to the command sergeant major, Command Sergeant Major Alba, to this day. And then after the Army, I just decided to continue my education. So I enrolled in Southern New Hampshire University. I moved to Manchester, started building a life here, and after graduation, I just stayed and decided to run for municipal office and got elected as Alderman.
Yeah, and that wasn't easy for you. You hit the pavement.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about resilience at the beginning of the hour, and I think one of the things that instilled in you in basic training is whatever you feel about the issue, something needs to be done. This is what needs to be done. You just do it, whatever the cost. So it kind of follows you after the military, this mentality, and you just stay resilient and you overcome any negative emotions or feelings or obstacles that you have, and we just get whatever it takes to serve people.
I love it.
in the capacity that I have.
Thank you. And as Alderman.
And thank you for your support. I know
Oh my
you're one of
gosh.
my earliest supporters.
I was
in the race.
Go
Yeah.
Sebastian. I was just so, I'm a grateful American, so grateful. Thank you, everyone, for your service. And hearing Sebastian's story, because, when people slam America, I'm bothered. I just don't get it. I'm like, we're the greatest country in the world. And sometimes it's like, if your parents are like, oh, well, as a kid, you're like, oh my God, this stinks, that stinks. And they're like, well, you know what? You have no idea what it's like somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we forget. And it's so important to be grateful. And we're all in different situations. And these past 2 years has been just way too much for too many people. And a lot of us are suffering from, anxiety, different forms of mental illness, substance abuse, and resilience is so key. And gratitude is humility, as Justin says, is the key to overcoming. And I just really believe that. And no matter what, I think of life a little differently. I'm adopted by my dad, and a lot of people don't realize that. I had the best dad in the world. That's how I feel. And he chose me. He chose me after my mom got married. And I don't think of things as, oh, well, I wasn't wanted by my other dad. I don't think of that. I just think of he chose me.
And you chose me for some reason.
Focus.
And he chose you.
You chose me for some reason.
And I chose you. And if we think about the positive, and I was disciplined, but I wasn't disciplined any different than my brother and sister, And I just think if we can take the positive out of anything and the lessons, because some people have it better than others, but we don't know what is, Jay will always say, oh, well, Crissy was a North Ender. And I'm like, listen, I'm a junkyard girl. Like, hello, So we have no idea what we're all going through. So please be there for each other. Sharing is caring. And I'm so thankful for each of my guests. And I think we're having to wrap it up.
Well, Crissy, let me thank you, and I thank you a lot, and I know other people thank you, because you bring so many issues to light, and you've done so much in this community for prostate cancer, Dash. You've represented New Hampshire nationally for prostate cancer. You've done so many different charitable things. You're doing the show to help people. So that right
we
there,
can connect.
that right there is service, because you have such an incredible heart for other people. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I love you guys, and thank you for all you do. And if you need electrical services, call Spark. And if you have a problem in Manchester, call Sebastian. And thank you, Mike, for always going with the flow. And Jay, I love you. And just chill, love one another, and think on the positive side. We will get through this together. Do what's right.